Good evening, everyone. How's it going? Welcome into episode 36. That's 3 dozen of the Fused Relativity podcast.
Look at that with the math. I didn't think you had it in you.
It was a lucky guess.
It was just he's been saying that. Welcome to 3 dozen. Blah blah blah. He's been saying that since episode 3. So he finally got it right. Everybody, yay!
Well, glad to be here once again on Friday night. John, how are you doing this evening?
Emotionally spent. I was not expecting to quite literally double the amount of TikTok followers we have in a week just by posting funny space engineers things.
Yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind, right? Like we put up some of our space engineers stuff on TikTok and boom, explosion.
So we're the new top hot influencers.
No.
We're setting the trends. It's like the Kardashians, then Fused Relativity, then New Coke.
If by setting trends, I mean, right now the most popular the clip we have is of me failing to fly a spaceship and blowing up. So
sounds like good entertainment.
Well, it about sums up the energy level of the streams we do when we do Space Engineers, because it's I don't know how many ships we've lost since we've started streaming, but it's not insignificant.
6. I'm gonna say 6.
I think it's more than that.
It seems a little slapsticky. It seems a little. Let's watch the Two Stooges muck up their space shuttle.
It's Three Stooges because you're in there too, Kirk.
Okay.
That was good.
All right, that's a good point. But I have no idea what's going on, so I just sort of mystery science theater it. But I do my best to try to distract you guys, and you seem somewhat amused sometimes, annoyed other times, and you ignore me the other time. It's a nice mix.
We do what we can, Kirk.
Well, those are the options. So.
Well, so what's the key to your name this week? What do we got?
Road trip punch drunk. I just got back into town, literally, about like an hour and a half ago, maybe give or take. I went to. I've never been to Santa Fe. Have you guys been to Santa Fe, New Mexico?
No.
Well, it's only 6 hours away. A lot of art stuff, a lot of paintings, a lot of good Mexican food, a lot of green chili, just like up here, but they're hatched. They're a little bit different, but. Fun time. Actually, weird story. There's a church that has like a famous staircase that it's like when you look at it, it doesn't make any sense. I wish I could remember the church. I'm sure we could look up if we really wanted to. But the staircase that just it had no support system, but it still made it up to the top floor. And supposedly my great grandfather built it.
Nice.
So that was kind of weird. Yeah, so it was like, hey, because my grandpa, he had a picture of that staircase in his house, and he goes, I did that. I built a staircase, and I didn't take the nuns wanted to give him money, and he turned it down. But it's like they don't know who did it, but supposedly it was my great grandfather.
Nice.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, you don't hear that. It's something different, you know.
Yeah, we have one in our family that I don't know is if one of those family legends or not.
The guy who took a shower.
It was about mechanisms that make submarines go up and down.
Yep, and we'll never know, probably.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? Like, there was no Facebook, there's no Twitter, the guy wasn't, selfieing himself making the thing. So we don't know. There was a time before you recorded every moment of your life.
Yeah.
It was a simpler time.
I'm guessing a little better just because, I don't know, it seems like everyone's slightly braggart. You know what I mean? Like you really got to share everything. Can't keep some stuff to yourself. And it seemed like there was a little more of that back then, sort of the stoic type, the strong silent thing, Something to that.
But then again, nobody would get to see our episodes of our clips of Space Engineers, and waste the time on TikTok to watch it. So
So that's a good thing.
I don't know. Well, guys, we're 36 episodes in, 3 dozen. That's pretty impressive. We made it a long way. It was like 3/4 of a year that we're at right now.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
They haven't kicked us off yet. We know. When you try to put something on the internet and the internet says no, when the internet goes, no, we're full, we're good, we don't need any more. Like, you're the internet, though.
Well, this week I have a few things that we can talk about, and a lot of it's space related, which is, that's kind of our thing. But the first one I wanted to bring up was about the billionaires in space. Now, we've talked about them plenty of times.
There's
And
30 of them, but do you really count the Virgin guy, Branson? Because he seems like he just went up once just for shits and giggles. Like, is he's still in it?
Well, there's him. Yes, he's still there. Bezos, Musk, and you can add the billionaire that went up on the Inspiration 4 mission.
Okay, so 4. We're up to 4.
Yeah. And most of what I think rubbed me the wrong way this week was just seeing how, well, there's 2 instances. One, the Inspiration 4 guy, I did a little digging on it, and it just seems like all of the positive energy that they tried to throw out on that mission, essentially the raising money for St. Jude and doing all the extra stuff, that was just so that he didn't look like a billionaire going to space.
Of
It
course.
was a PR move. So was this the one that the Netflix did the documentary about?
Yeah.
Okay, that guy. Well, I think that's it, but everybody has a PR thing. Everybody has like we gotta position you. Everybody thinks like a politician where they gotta put their best face so they don't offend anybody, so they can make the most money. But it's just phony bullshit.
Well, and the story that I saw that really kind of, I don't know, pissed me off a little bit was Sam Adams is actually making a beer with hops that guy flew into space and then immediately came down and tried to find someone to buy his hops from him.
Somebody's gonna make space beer. That was the idea.
Yeah, Sam Adams. And I'll give them this. The name was clever. They came up with Spacecraft.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's a cool name for a beer, but I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way reading about that. And then Bezos, there was a story that Tom Hanks was actually offered the seat on the Blue Origin ship.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a $28 million ticket that Bezos was offering. And Tom Hanks said, nah, I'm good. So then he found William Shatner.
Which means it was the same price.
So it just, you know what? I mean, we're talking about people who have billions of dollars. And now there's nothing wrong with the billions of dollars thing. But if you're going to do something, I would say don't try and sugarcoat it. Just say, hey, me and my rich buddies are going to go fly into space.
God, no, they would never do that.
And we want your money to do it.
They would never say that because it seems like billionaires like to be behind a cloak, at least back in the day. Like they would, you know what I mean? They wouldn't talk to the press and they would just go about and do their business. And now it's like they're thrust into the spotlight and they don't know how to handle it. I think even them deep down, they look around, they go, I have billions. And I keep hearing reports that a lot of people are struggling. I think they feel kind of shitty deep down. I think there's a little guilt. I'd hope if they're human beings and have feelings.
Zuckerberg's a robot or a lizard, one of the two.
He is. He doesn't count. He doesn't have human inner workings.
So,
and he might be the only person more pale than John.
Well, this is
So.
true.
Yeah.
But I shared a TikTok I had found with Chris, and it was just a simple thing of the reason all the billionaires are trying to go to space is because guillotines don't work or need gravity to work.
Kind of. So I mean, I used to have a joke where it's like you got to start sharing, or because it's like I don't like. Eventually, we're gonna find a castle and storm it. You know what I mean? Eventually, if people are pissed off enough, I mean, you could have, but there's a moat, there's a fence, you have security, you have guards. I don't know. There's a million people coming at you just with torches and no food.
It's historically not worked out well for the people that try and do this, especially during times of extreme poverty, like the French.
Exactly. There's a tipping point. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? I'm so hungry. My anger is taken over. Let's get some numbers and let's go. And I don't know. It seems like I'm trying to rally the troops or anything, but I mean, if it happened, I would not be surprised. It would be kind of like, they had it coming.
And the other point that I was going to make is, and this is kind of even pushing against your guy crush of Elon Musk, John.
No. Let's get this straight. I think what he has done is great. I still think he's a piece of, he's no better than any of the other billionaires.
My problem is that he was the one who kind of pushed this mission along and allowed the guy to do what he was going to do.
Yeah, because it's all for money. There's no other reason. It's all to get more money.
It is an addiction. It's a sickness. That's all they care about. Just more. It's like if this was heroin, they would be dead by now. If they were addicted to heroin, they'd be done. But it's money, so somehow they're still alive.
My original point remains: you could tax them at 99%, and they would still be insanely filthy rich and still never have to worry about anything ever.
Well, and can you clarify? Because I think a lot of people like Chris are like, when you say you're going to tax them that much, they think it's taxes still just apply to what you make this year, right? I mean, so it's not like people go, if you tax 99 billion, he's going to only have 2. But it's like, no, he gets to keep what he has. Just from now on, you got to kick in.
Well, and right? Even if yes,
and so we're steering away from what I was.
Oh no! We're railing against billionaires now.
I know. I don't want to get into the financial part as much.
Well, my point.
Okay. The reason Tom Hanks turned it down is because he only wanted him to do it if he dressed as his bosom buddy's character, and that's what it wasn't about the money. It was just he didn't want to go back to bosom buddies.
Well, and he did Apollo 13, so I'm pretty sure there was some like.
Yes, Hanks is like, I've already been to space, sort of. I don't need whatever.
I lived through that terrible mission, so
I dated a mermaid. Everybody,
I
do a bachelor party. Okay, Tom Hanks is funny. All right.
So you see what I'm saying, John? I'm saying let's not talk about the financial taxes and the.
No, I agree, but you also have to see that. If they wanted to do good, 99% of their money would still leave them as billionaires. That's how ridiculous it is right now.
Well, what was your point? What did you want to talk about? Which way did you see it going?
Oh, I was more talking about the implications of like, is there any way you can spin a mission to make it seem like it's not just a wild PR stunt?
Yeah, if Musk were to put his own money into completely setting up like Mars or the lunar or any sort of extraplanetary habitat.
If they do something scientifically impressive and important, talk about that, and then we can talk about the science. Make it just like, we're in space, and now we're not. Like if they're accomplishing something, that would be a better spin. I think that to get away from it.
Well, and this is why I think we're on that slippery slope of what could potentially send us, into apocalypse. I can't think of the right word to say it, because a lot of estimates have put some of the asteroids that they want to collect and put into Earth's orbit in the like multi-trillion dollars amount of resources in them. And the first person that wrangles one of those is going to be obscenely rich and potentially tank the entire world's economy.
There was that one, they had a story about it last year where there was one asteroid that they figured was completely essentially made of iron, and it would be worth like $4 quadrillion or something stupid.
Well, and it's even so. The thing with that is, it's even more. And I don't know exactly how well this would work, because obviously I am not an astrophysicist. I don't study moon or space rocks, but we have a problem with current stainless steel, and that problem is, well, no, the problem is, to use metal in certain scientific areas, you need it to not be radioactive. And since humanity decided to drop a shit ton of atomic bombs all over the place, everything that was above the surface of the water is slightly radioactive nowadays. And a lot of the scientific equipment that has to be made from salvaged metal from sunken ships that were sunk before the bombs started being tested.
So you're saying minerals from space asteroids could get us around that because they won't. Well, if they're in space, don't they have some sort of radiation on them? Or I'm way off?
So, from my understanding,
the cores probably would be fine. The outside layer would have, but the cores would probably be protected, I would imagine.
And it's potentially not particulate radiation. The most, and seeing this is stuff I don't know, because I don't have the knowledge to that, but I would assume it is bombarded with mostly EM and radiation, which is not particulate. Which,
not the poisonous ones of nuclear bombs.
Yeah. Because the EM radiation it's there and gone. It's, the radiation that the sun emits in forms of light and all of that. You only get sunburn when you walk outside.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Did someone tell you?
I said that. I immediately was like, shit, I should have said long. But you only get sunburned if you're outside for a long period of time. Same with, on the flip side, if you were to pick up a nuclear or, open one of like I can't remember the name. I know it has demon in it somewhere. But the nuclear test stuff, you will die almost immediately, and it's not from the EM stuff. It's from the particulates that it emits. The gamma and... I'm going to embarrass myself because, at one point I've had classes on this in multiple different areas. But it's all knowledge that has long since left me for more practical stuff like...
Space engineers.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay, so there's goo inside that we could use to make stuff. So is there any thought of, if we start doing that, then we wouldn't deplete our minerals, and the planet won't die? Is that a thought, or is it just look what we can do?
Well, it's the whole concept of things. Like, everyone agrees that the Earth is kind of, it has limited resources. We're currently in a silicon shortage. There's resources that we don't have in abundance that could potentially be found on other planets. For all we know, there could be massive oil fields on Mars, because there was once water and there was once, greenery before things went south. There is a lot of potential all over space that could benefit humanity here. And there's also stuff we could be doing here, like, stopping the ozone from cooking us.
At a certain point, and I really don't know. I mean, at a certain point, would it be easier just to turn all of the cars into electrics, or would it be easier to blast off to Mars to pull out oil there because we ran out here? You know what I mean? Like, it seems.
No,
it seems like there's an easier solution.
No, I agree, and that the oil thing was just kind of an example that popped into my head for some reason. I think because I'm looking at the article that Chris wants to talk about later about the organic molecules. It's like most countries are moving towards electric vehicles, but electric vehicles are only a small fraction of. Like, if you look at the amount of stuff that is caused for like climate change and all that other stuff, it's corporations. Like Amazon, I'm assuming, is a massive contributor right now, and it's, second richest person on the planet owner, or ex-owner, because he doesn't work there anymore, could have potentially done something to, aid that.
Right.
Go ahead. I was just going to say he's been pledging to become more carbon neutral or whatever and try and help the earth. And, but here's the point. So you throw a lot of money at that, which is all he can really do at this point, because you can't have both. You can't run your Amazon commerce business and not make pollution.
Well, it's such a behemoth. Yeah, you're going to do something.
Yeah,
you have an impact on the environment, I'm sure. But it seems like if you're to become a billionaire, it doesn't seem like you think about other people. So to think of the billionaire is going to make profits and also be concerned about the environment, it just doesn't seem like it's in their DNA. I don't even think they recognize empathy or thinking of others. I think they think of just PR and what benefits me.
Well, which is the same for them going up into space, which is what I kind of was talking about in the beginning. Was I think my perspective has just flipped, and I think the billionaire space race is kind of losing its rah-rah for me and turning into a stupid idea. Because space tourism is starting to seem a little more ridiculous to me, I guess.
Well, that's so. John, you and I were saying that it just seems like it's like only people can afford it are going to be the giant. It just seems like the new thing that the super wealthy can do just to show off. Oh, you have a yacht. Ooh, you have something in Vail in the Hamptons. Oh, I went to space.
Yeah, it's like I have a personal module on the new space station.
They won't even let me bring my butler. It was horrible. I hated myself, and no one fed me anything. I'll never go back.
Oh, but
0 stars.
You just made me think, Kirk. They successfully made tacos on the space station with peppers that they grew in space. Chili.
See that? Yeah.
Nice. Good. That's better. Me likey tacos.
So, I mean, here's my thing. Like, sure, they could, charge, and which is what they're going to do. They could make space tourism both beneficial and, I mean, okay, so this comes back to our question relativity. When I said, could Elon Musk do stuff for humanity and just eat the cost? Like, if he put a telescope on the back of
not.
Oh, I know he won't. But if he could put the telescope on the back of every single Starlink, which are at about the same orbit, as far as I could tell, I did research on it, and it kept coming up with about the same orbit of 500 miles. Not miles. No, that doesn't sound right, but I think it's 500 miles or kilometers.
That's the space station.
You could be wrong.
Yeah, but it's also the Hubble.
Gotcha.
I think the Hubble's at like 500 because
is the Hubble still going? It hasn't kicked it yet, right?
No, it went back into safe mode.
Oh, it's like the sort of the plucky the old athlete who's still going. Like, good for it. Good for Hubble.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Adrian Peterson of telescopes.
So yeah, it's 353 miles, 568 kilometers. So it's up there. But that's also the height of some of these Starlinks. So could they put a telescope on the back of all those Starlinks, which are going to be in the upwards of like 40,000, and then let scientists use them?
That was an obscure sports reference and then a bunch of science stuff at the set. Like that was a weird combo. I just gotta say, Minnesota Vikings, right? Running back.
Yeah, that's what he just got recently signed by the Tennessee Titans, Kirk. Still
Did
playing.
he come back? He's still get out.
Yeah.
Man.
He's been around since the early 2000s. Ageless wonder.
You know, it's like Steve Nash, the basketball player. I think especially like towards the end, if they seem to really focus in with a trainer and diet and exercise and supplements or whatever, like it seems like they can, like, you hear the old days they would like be drinking at halftime or smoking cigarettes, but it's like now it's like if you take care of it, it seems like the body's lasting longer.
Only a select few. I mean, that's an anomaly. Most guys,
like
especially
Brady.
in football, don't. Yeah.
Most guys, yeah.
Most guys don't last that long. Not 20 plus years in the league.
That's true. They're the exceptions to the rule. They're the outliers. They're not so you see some old football players and they're like 48 and they're walking around and it's painful to watch them walk. You're like, oh, that hurts my knees to look at that.
Yeah, John. So yes, I mean, if you allowed scientists to look through telescopes that are on the back of Starlinks, that would be great. But how much is that going to cost a company to put its telescope on the back of,
It would cost. Let's put this into perspective. Even if those satellites, or it costs $1 million to put a telescope on the back of every single Starlink, which I doubt, because if the Starlinks are costing $1 million, it's already looking at what, $44 billion? But I think I answered the question right there. So if he were to put a telescope on the back of every Starlink and it cost $1 million, it would only be about $4 billion to put a telescope on every single starship, which is about 1% of his current total wealth.
Still probably not going to happen.
Well,
I mean,
no, and that's what I mean. It's like 1% of our wealth. If you make $80,000 and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, but 1%, that's $800. Like an $800 bill from any average person. It's like, that's gonna hurt, but it's not doable. Like if you saved a little bit, you could make an $800 one-time payment. Hell, my printer costs $600.
Right. Why to think like if I as a motto, it's hard to feel sorry for a billionaire, no matter what happens to that. You know what I mean? Like you have 87 and now you have 53. Boo hoo!
You're still way richer than anyone.
Well, and did you hear he was talking about, like, somebody suggested if Musk, if I gave $6 billion, it would end world hunger. I think that was the thing. Did you see that story?
Yeah, but there's a catch to that.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Elon came out and said, look, if you can prove to me that 6 billion will solve a or a hunger crisis in the world, I will gladly donate it. But I need proof that it's going to work.
And it's hard to. I mean, that seems impossible. Prove it works. That's kind of science is talking.
The other thing was the place that came out and said that is also potentially very corrupt. A lot of the stuff I saw was saying that it's run by a lot of rich people that again, going back to, they just like collecting money.
Rich people,
they collect money like we collect Pokemon cards. I mean,
it does seem just like an addiction. Like it's like their hobby. It's like they don't have fancy guitars in glass cases, or they don't have fancy paintings. They don't have like good goofy comic books. They have money, and it's really, it's a certain point. It's like, handle your drug. You're sucking out so much of it. There's none.
Well, no, because
you gotta fucking share.
How many people, all of the people listening, and pretty much everybody who's ever seen it, would just love to do a Scrooge McDuck and dive into like a pit of coins.
No, that would
Come
It's
on.
fucking hurt.
It's a fantasy. Yeah, the duck did it.
I'm just saying, if you could like fill a room with $100
Yes.
bills and jump off of a diving board into it, wouldn't you? Of course you would.
Well, and
At a
that's
certain point, great power comes great responsibility or great wealth. It's one of those. It's
and
what
I'm
you
just-
do with it.
And you'd be responsible to jump off a diving board into some money.
yes,
That's
just like
what you got to
Spider-Man.
do.
And then go and what makes it better if with their noses smudged against your window, poor people were crying while you did that.
See,
Ow.
They're like, it makes it extra refreshing. Ooh.
well, and that's the
All
thing.
right.
That's no, I want to talk about this just a second because that's the capitalist delusion that they put out and said, oh, if you worked tough or you pulled up your bootstraps and you went to work, there's a chance that you could become a millionaire one day. That's a lie. Like the only way, like me and Chris were even talking about it, if we wanted to start our own merchandise, we could do it, print it with the stuff we have, but we would never make enough money for it to be worth it. We'd make some side money, sure, but to
just enough just to keep making more shirts. Basically, any money made would just be going back into the production of the shirts.
In order to get to the point where you could make enough money for it to be self-sufficient, you would have to put in a decent amount of money. Like, sure, you can get that money if you work your ass off and do that stuff. But like, I'll put myself out there. I'm 37. I have a college degree and work a job that requires a college degree. And I work a job that is, equivalent. Well, I would say it's a step below becoming or being a doctor in a hospital. Like, there is stuff that I do, and it's there. I'm trying to word this without, necessarily saying anything revealing.
Telling anything, being interesting, having somebody be able to follow it. Come on, like if you only use prepositions.
Okay. So I'm an X-ray tech. All right.
There you go. Ooh, oh my God, burn him. All right.
But my point is, like, that is a job that requires a degree, requires certification, as almost as much certification as a nurse, and yet
and critical thought.
Yes,
too. It's not. You can't be a dummy and do this. Like there's, it's important.
It is important to be good. It is not important to function.
Okay, so
unfortunately.
Anyway, but you were going somewhere. And by the way, I can't believe you work with radiation and you're still so pale. But anyway, you think a little tan. Anyway.
But I do not make that much money. And I've said this before on the podcast that when I started working in radiology, which was 16 years ago, X-ray techs made about the same amount of money as they did at the beginning of this year. Now, obviously, that's changed.
The pay scale hasn't really gone. Everything else has gotten more expensive, but the pay hasn't.
Housing is doubled. Everything is practically doubled, and everyone keeps talking about how food prices are going up, and gas has been about the same. Gas is the same as when I was going to school, so the fact that it dropped was nice, but it's still not sufficient. Like, and I realize that this is regional and it's very specific where I live in Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs is a hot place for market. I'm assuming Zillow owns like half the houses in the city, which is why it's so.
No, they stopped that. But anyway.
But no. But that's the point. Is you have companies, and it wasn't just Zillow. It was all of them. There was multiple companies doing that, and the fact that I could go to, let's say, Kansas, and not to say anything bad against anyone who lives in Kansas, but comparatively, there is very little to do. I would get paid the same amount of money, and housing is, you can buy a decent house for like $100,000.
Right here, you're struggling. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it's
struggling
like they're pricing people. Like I saw a billboard and it said like houses starting the low 500,000s, and I'm like, who is that for? Who? That's too. Who makes that much? You know what I
I
mean? Like
mean,
I don't get it.
realistically, I'm going to do the back of the. Well, I'm going to pull out my calculator here real quick. Realistically,
Ah, Jesus.
what? So
Pulling
realistically,
out the calculator.
well, I'm just saying, if you made $50 an hour, that's $100,000 a year. So what was the old adage that they used to say? Like you should make what, like a quarter of your house cost a year?
I don't know.
See,
Maybe.
but I mean, even then, you would have to make $50 an hour, and
And
that
I've never all of my 30 jobs. I've never come anywhere close to that.
like
I haven't even reached half of that.
like I've been doing this for a long time, and I've only just recently gotten above 30. Like,
You know, it's stuff has been held down for so long. You're supposed to tell yourself, "Well, this is a good thing. This has to be good." And then you look around, you're like, "I'm still not. I'm still eking by. It's got to be frustrating." Because
yeah,
like I think the only way I've survived is not have don't make people. They're expensive.
yes,
Is it, like so to me, the less if you only give people wages that are fit for teenagers, they don't feel confident to procreate. So the only people that won't make other people are people that can do math. So the people that can't do math and don't realize I can't afford this are going to be rampant just because the other
idiocracy cometh
people
true.
yeah. No,
Guys,
you're not
I've been
paying. You're not making kindergarten. You're not paying.
We're
You're making a bunch of dumb, hungry people who are nothing else to do except make more people because they don't know, whatever.
we're hurting Chris's feelings.
you are. You hijacked
You
the podcast.
you have a good job. You don't count. We're not talking about you.
You were
You
uh,
make
also the
so
one that
much border. You make. I don't. By the way, your company. Hey, I did a job with you right 3 years ago. In 3 years, the pay has gone up 80 cents for and like just something like that. Like that's you seem chintzy, $1 billion corporation. You
yeah.
seem chintzy
on that note, Kirk,
because and the corporation we're talking about is Female Impersonator Incorporated, as we've clearly. Anyway, what? Go ahead.
well, that incriminates you because you worked with me a few years ago.
You got a lot of wigs. Yeah, I was like your gopher. It was just it was just putting up with your tantrums, really.
Well,
It made
hey,
me laugh.
on,
You know what? I'm laughing at the pain.
on that note, let's check out what's going on in space this week because we got a few things we can talk about.
Sweet.
First off, John, let's go to what you prefaced earlier in the show. They found molecules on Mars.
They did.
All right. What kind?
Organic.
Yeah.
So that means like they are life. They can sustain life. They can be bought at Whole Foods.
Essentially, it's just uh, they found a way to detect carbon-based life forms or molecules on other planets. In this case, it was Mars, but it was more or less not that it was living matter, but that it was something that we recognize as a known molecule.
Well,
So something it might have been living. So they're like I think you were saying earlier, like a dead stuff, and maybe it's sort of like coal, or like or my that's way off.
well, it's just organic. Just means it is carbon based. So, like pure carbon itself. I mean, you've seen coal is pure carbon, but when you have organic, I don't know where I'm going with this. Help me, Chris.
Yeah.
Essentially, Kirk, they just found a way to find molecules that we know to be of our composition on another planet.
So we've recognized molecules that are here were also there.
Like,
So
not soil. I'm assuming.
Yeah. In the long run, to the layman, essentially it means nothing. But
Well, and here's the thing. Like, we know Mars has water. We know Mars used to have water on the surface. It holds true that at some point, life potentially also sparked on Mars just like it did on Earth. It just didn't last as long. So
could this be with science? Like sometimes you got to take the good and you take the bad. Sometimes it's like a rocket going to space, and sometimes it's just. I'm sure it's important, but it just sounds dull.
yeah. Well, it's
most of it.
They found something. They found molecules on a planet really far away. Yeah,
And most of it,
yay?
most of it, like you kind of hit the nail on the head, because what most of it boils down to is that they were more excited that they were able to collect this and figure it out without drilling using the rover.
Okay, so they used a new process. Like then maybe that's the way to spin it more. Hey, they achieved something new by doing something really dull. But there was something cool, and it'll probably lead to something. This seems like a first step kind of thing that leads to something much more impressive down the road.
Well,
essentially,
yeah, when SpaceX eventually gets people to Mars to do more adequate research.
You gotta space crawl before you space run. Am I right?
Oh, you should have said walk.
Oh, walk, space, what?
Spacewalk? That's way better.
Okay, good. Well, all right, well, what else do we want to talk about then, Mr. Critic? No, I was kidding.
Bezos lost the lawsuit,
He did.
which surprises no one.
Yeah. For everybody who doesn't know, Jeff Bezos sued NASA because NASA picked SpaceX to do the lunar missions. And he got real bummed out about it and tried to sue him for not picking his Blue Origin for it, even though they don't really even have a lander. And so he sued, and they reviewed it and lost. So
yeah.
SpaceX gets to keep the contract,
which everyone knew.
Right. He also lost his case. Bezos sued Cox for defamation, and Cox won. They go, no, but you are a cock. Anyway,
I fought the law, and the law won.
Right, and the law was correct.
Overruled.
But that's good. Good. You know what? It's nice to, whether it's in a legal form, anytime like a billionaire can get checked, it's, I don't know, seems like a win.
And next thing, we've got on like rapid fire here, which is kind of fun. But the solar storms keep coming, John.
Bring it back to the heat death of the universe. Yeah, I don't foresee him having an issue. I did see that. Now, obviously, we weren't going to see the Aurora Borealis this far south from the pole, but it was a possibility to see some of the Aurora, especially up in like Denver.
Yeah, but the cloud cover really ruined that, which was kind of a bummer. But I looked for it on Halloween because that was going to be the night that we would be able to see any of it if possible, and it was just too cloudy. We would have never seen anything. But there was another one that just unleashed I think it was this week. And so it's just kind of weird that it's like 3 weeks in a row we've had solar storms. Just an odd event, something to pay attention to.
Well, I mean, it is until it's big enough and then no one can talk to each other anymore. So, if it EMPs half the Earth, it'll be hard to talk about.
I'm going to start, by the way, our new sponsor is insurance that covers you. from solar storms. If your house gets obliterated, if your planet goes away, just give us $50 a month, and when it happens, we'll kick it back to you. Yes, we'll be obliterated. Don't worry about that, though.
Let us worry about that. That's why we're here.
We're the insurance guys. You don't need to be worried, pretty little head, about that. We got it.
You've got me wondering if that's actually legal. I'm assuming under capitalism it is.
The free market will decide.
Hey, if someone's dumb enough to buy solar storm insurance, then that's their fault.
Can that be a shirt? Solar storm insurance salesman.
Yes,
Asking
please.
me about my solar storm insurance. That'd be funny. They'll ask me about it, and I'll go, "You're stupid." That's what. No, that'd be the meanest shirt ever.
What was the other thing, John? I'm drawing a blank. There was one more that I saw.
We hit everything.
No, so Hubble went back into safe mode because something happened and they're diagnosing it and they don't exactly know what it is at this moment. But it led me to Lucy, the I forget what Lucy does.
Lucy's the
She's in the sky with diamonds.
Yeah,
it's the asteroid mission.
Yeah, well, the solar array is stuck. They got it up there, but the solar array has not fully unfolded yet. It's at like they said 70 to 90% unfolded, which is kind of a weird ratio. Like, well, we're 70% or we're 90%. We're not sure.
We're not scientific. We're not great with numbers. Oh God, like, what?
You're NASA.
Yeah, NASA. I assume you don't round it off. You don't spit. It's if they would have said 70-ish, you're like, you're not a scientist. No.
This doesn't bode well for James Webb, though.
Not at all, because James Webb, I think, has more working
It's
unfoldable parts.
300 and something odd things that have to go right for that thing to work.
Can I throw out the theory? The way to fix it is you send up a space truck and you throw a hitch around it, and then you pull her out full, right? Just like it's stuck in the snow, stuck in the mud, stuck in the beam. It's just stuck. So come on, a pickup truck, space pickup truck. You got a better idea?
No.
All right.
I'm on board.
I like that. Oh, that's such politician logic. You got a better idea? No. Well, then we're going with my stupid idea. Okay, look, who has the idea here? Me. Shut up.
Yes. So it's but that is a good point, John, that just based off of Lucy, the James Webb is going to be, it'll be a miracle if that thing works.
Yeah. It's going to be sad if it doesn't, because the only thing that might work would be, or the only thing that would potentially be able to fix it would be Starship. And Starship's still a year or two away from being human rated.
It's unfortunately, the Hubble is just on its last leg. I think it's just at this point, it's on the down stretch to retirement.
Are you saying the Hubble is hobbled?
It is hobbled.
Okay.
Unless the
hobble. That's kind of fun to say.
What was the Hamburglar? Was it Robble Robble? Or was it that was Grimace? Who said Robble Robble?
You did.
Other than me, before me. Come on, this is a fast food thing. If either two of you knuckleheads don't know this, so
I don't think it's fast food.
Robble Robble, Grimace or Hamburglar? Never. All right, I don't want
Hamburglar. No, I just looked it up. It's the Hamburglar.
Okay, good. You said it like I'm just throwing this out to get him to shut up. So, but it's real. Okay.
At least that was the first thing that. Yeah, I'm assuming it's the Hamburglar.
The guy who would burgle the ham. He would steal the hamburgers. Yeah, the guy with the bandana.
Yeah,
The other one, John, that I had to throw out on the same vein is they are talking about testing the theory on their craft, or I'm assuming it's a craft that is designed to impact asteroids to change their course.
Oh yeah. I think we
So
talked
there's-
about that.
Maybe a little, but apparently, so I saw a story, so I did a little research, and one of these crafts is going to crash into a asteroid to try and change its course to
Send
see
it.
if they could potentially avert it from hitting something.
So they're trying to pinball it.
Yeah. Play some
Like
pool.
a pool ball. Yeah, pool, like space
Pool
pool.
ball?
Red
Space
dwarf.
Okay, space ball. There you go.
Yeah. And the only downside is they're like, well, we need to hit it right in the middle to maximize the deflection. And that'll give us anywhere from 1 to 5% deflection.
So if we hit it dead on exactly where we want to, it's
So
best case scenario 5% better. Like,
well, no. So
I don't like those odds. That doesn't sound good.
here's the thing: 1% in terms of space and like orbit and stuff is enough to potentially, miss the Earth, hit the moon. Like if it was heading for the Earth and you hit it off by 1%, it could hit the moon. You're talking massive scale, and percentage like is a massive amount.
Just ballpark it. The top three. If the asteroid hits the moon explodes. We don't have a moon anymore.
Oh
what
no, that's
three things. What three things happen? Like the tides. It screws with the tides, right?
oh, we all die.
If we lose the moon, we die.
Well, if the moon were to explode, it would most likely end up falling into Earth's atmosphere.
We'd get the shrapnel.
Yes, and something the size of the moon would like annihilate us.
Because isn't it way bigger than us?
No. What?
All right. I don't know. See, I just wanted to test you. Good.
Okay.
So I was seeing if you're paying attention. No. So the moon, that would be a horrible thing.
Yes.
So we're trying to perfect the thing to space pool it so that doesn't happen.
Just deflect it enough. Like if there was something coming that was, they were worried that was 99% going to hit the Earth. If they threw a satellite at it, would it be enough to knock it that degree or so off to miss?
Because Bruce Willis only gets one shot.
Well,
so
trying to think of a good analogy for this. Like, if you were trying to shoot an apple and, you were doing it right in front of the arrow, you're going to hit that apple 100% of the time. If you walk back 100 feet, you could have the exact same alignment, like not move anything. The bow could have stayed in the place and you could have moved the apple 100 feet. And you let that arrow go, there's a chance that it's going to miss the apple now. And the farther and farther and farther you go, the more just even
trajectory and minor changes, little wind.
Yeah.
Like you throw it off by like a 0.5%,
and you've missed the target completely now.
By the way, I like the idea of shooting apples. I hate apples too, but go
ahead.
What do you got against apples, Kirk? Dang.
No, apples are they're fine. I have the old school slicer, so I do the apple slices.
I was gonna say, yep. My daughter does too.
Mix a little American cheese with it. It's awesome.
What?
I like you had to add dairy to fruit. Just eat fruit. Just try it. It's like, well, I can't.
It's American cheese slices. It's not even dairy.
Oh, that's true. That's like a chemical plastic. Yeah, that's.
But it's delicious.
Oh, God damn it! No. No, you're all right. Yeah, no, all right.
Hey, on that note, Kirk, you want to go over to your corner? I don't know if you got anything ready, but
yes. Well, it was Halloween. We did our podcast on Friday, and the Halloween was Sunday. So Is that a bottle of ketchup?
That's Heinz ketchup right there, buddy. You better smack it on the bottom, my friend.
If you don't, it's not going anywhere. You must look. Your 515 is here. No, hit me. Gotta spank me first. Back then, you could get away with it. No.
Sorry, I just wanted to give John props for that because that's awesome.
It was probably my favorite one of last week's set.
And what's more refreshing for a parched person than to drink ketchup too? So it's an extra. Still not water. Still not water.
I feel like at this point your gums or like your lips have sucked back into your face, so you're just mostly gums at this point.
Well, yeah, we're in outer space. That's got to be dehydrating. I can't. That's not a. Oh, my skin is so much better. I'm in space where there's no oxygen, no water, right? I mean, yeah, that can't be good. Why? Well, good. What? Good on the ketchup. Oh, nice to always have something new in the corner. So, anyways, I was saying it was Halloween. So I had a list of the Halloween costumes that I saw, sort of the least popular. These were the ones that would not get a 10. So basically, don't do this. These were the bad. Did you guys see any? You trick or treated with your kids, right?
Yes.
What was the kind of? Did you have a favorite or a good one or a bad one that you guys saw?
So
I'll just throw this out, Kirk. My daughter was a chicken.
Okay.
And pretty much 100% of everybody called her a duck. Even with the little red comb on top. So I feel bad for our school systems. That's all I gotta say.
They don't know their bird. That's too bad.
Mine falls into the similar vein because we went to Boo at the Zoo, and this lady came up and was asking about my daughter's costume, and she was Princess Peach. Now, Princess Peach is very, very, relatable. She was wondering if she was one of the I keep forgetting this name, the Hocus Pocus witches, the Sanderson sisters. Is that it?
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, she's like, is it a Sanderson sister? And my wife's like, no, it's Princess Peach, and she got pissed and left.
It's like the last reference she knows. She's not keeping up to date.
It's like
she's just out of touch.
Peach. It's like I understand that video games.
I don't know who Princess Peach is. I don't know who you're talking about.
That's Mario. It's the princess from Mario.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was just about to say, I was like, Mario is pretty endemic, and most people know it. And then Kirk's like, I don't know what Mario is.
Super Mario Brothers, the original.
Yeah,
he's the chick he was trying to save the whole time that the dinosaur was taken away.
Princess Peach.
Yeah.
Who knows that? I don't know. I never knew her name.
Kirk, get off my lawn.
She was a princess. You guys, whatever. Anyway, all right. So here's. Horrible. These are the horrible Halloween costumes that I saw. I saw a CD Walkman. That was a bad one. And you know what? Because the worst part, it was always skipping. Hey, okay, come on, CD. Another costume that was just bad. I saw a child without phone. That was not and child not in front of iPod. That was scary. The unsexy librarian. I was not a fan of the, and also the unsexy overworked nurse. A little commentary there. They're exhausted. All right.
Yeah, I can picture that.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, if I have to, right, another step, just shut up. Give me candy.
I need chocolate now.
Oh yeah, there you go. I bet another bad one. Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
that's not a good one. The dumpster rummaging raccoon. That was I don't understand. A job application.
I mean,
you can't see him anymore.
Kirk, just because you saw me doesn't mean you have to comment on it.
Oh, that was you. Oh, okay. All right, I take it back. Worst, worst, worst costume, John. Okay. Here was a bad one. It was a booster shot. it was they didn't like that. I saw the civil servant because that was just boring. The kid who dressed up as the car charging station. Nobody knew what that was. The surprise crippling medical bill was everybody was not a fan of that. Joey Buttafuoco. No, the kids didn't remember. Okay, like three more. A livable wage. A call center cubicle, and then how about we'll go with the scene. That was not a good costume.
Say that one again, Kirk.
Yeah, I was gonna say you cut out right in the middle of it.
Oh, well, it went Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, one more, a skinny child. Anyway, I did not see many of those. No, I think it seems like parents are getting a grip on that. It seems like, oh, maybe it's Colorado. It seems like people are healthy. They're running around.
Yeah, like, I mean, this is tangential, but like when I was bringing my kids in, the weight is a massive factor. It seems a lot more than it used to be. Not that my kids are, overweight or anything, but they're strangely fixated on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a thing now, Kirk. It's weird.
Yeah, they're like,
they're getting body because they're not even teenager. Are they? How old are they?
No, my oldest she's just about 11.
Yeah, wow. So it seems like it's the body image stuff is starting sooner.
No, the doctor was just like, hey, yeah, no, she's like 2 pounds over what she should be. Like, what?
2 pounds?
I'm generalizing because I don't remember, but It wasn't a lot, and it was like that doesn't seem like something that's necessarily a thing, because kids change weight like daily.
Well, yeah, they're growing.
And,
I don't know. There is this thing, a baby fat. I mean, maybe it takes a while to lose, but it seems like it's a little quibbling.
And to put it into perspective, I'll throw my daughter. Well, she's 10. She's almost 11. She's 5'4", and she would eat a bunch because she was growing like crazy, and then she kind of slowed down, and that's when she, gained a little bit more, but that she just stopped growing vertically for a second, and that's when they were like,
it's like the growth spurt stops.
Yeah,
and then okay.
But I mean, she's taller than most women that I know. I don't know.
This. Oh, by the way, this Kirk's Corner took a turn.
Yeah, it got a little less fun at the end.
All right, we'll do this. We'll go away from Kirk's Corner. Kirk's Corner is supposed to be fun.
No, exactly. No, none of this serious talk in Kirk's Corner. It's like not It's like not a no smoking sign, but like no serious, no.
Yes, we don't. Yeah, we've come accustomed to a certain standard of jokery.
There's a certain silliness of Kirk's Corner. Exactly. That's why we go to Kirk's Corner.
Yeah, you always got to bring up the dark stuff. Yeah, it's fun.
It can be.
the heat death of the universe, right?
I maintain that was perfectly timed.
Yeah. In the heat death of the universe, like, I don't know. I grew up in Phoenix. Bring it on. What you got? I think there's a solar storm coming? People in Phoenix are going to be like, it's not as hot.
Everybody in Arizona would be like, what happened?
Yeah. They would, you know what happened? The solar storm would happen. Somebody would step outside and they'd go, I need a sweater. This is chilly. A little cold.
You guys are a bunch of wusses out there.
Oh, well, for cold, but for heat, everybody else is like a pansy. The people come from out of town. They go golf. They're like, oh, I got an amazing golf deal. Oh yeah, when? August. Oh, okay. It's 111, mate, on a good day, and it never cools off. Even at night, it's still 90 something. It's just brutal. But it's a certain toughness. It's just sort of like, you know what sucks, stuff sometimes it sucks. And it's like, it's like when it's cold, it's sort of a similar, I think, kind of toughness attitude. I don't need a jacket. Whatever.
It's going back to the East Coast. It's wicked cold out here.
Exactly. I think there's sort of a certain pride in dealing with suck.
Yes. Well, let's see what doesn't suck this week in our off topic. What do we got going on, gentlemen?
I've got. Did you see Ford's electric truck that they? I'm gonna post the link in chat, and I'm gonna pull it up here. Give me just a second.
As far as I know, I saw a story on it, but I haven't seen a picture of it.
I've got it pulled up.
What?
Yeah.
That looks like an old timey one.
Yeah.
Huh.
I think it's amazing.
I like the idea of electric trucks. If you can give me an electric vehicle that'll still haul shit, I'm all game.
And in theory, electric car or electric truck should be able to haul more than a... Because it runs on the same principle of diesel. That's why diesel is so popular with trucks, is because, diesel produces all of that torque, which means that when you're pulling stuff, you don't notice that you're pulling stuff. Same with electric engines. It's all torque-based.
And we're talking torque-based. We're not talking about Peter Torque from the Monkees.
But, yeah, like, this car is... It's just all retro, and it looks amazing.
Huh.
That's fun. I like it.
And, like, it's got... Like, there's the engine. This is what kills me, is that the engine is so tiny in comparison to, the rest of the car. And like it just
is there a way for is there sort of an amplification, a way for it to go vroom vroom so the truck the truck guys need that. They're not going to be happy if they don't.
It's funny that you mention that, Kirk, because one thing that I read, somebody was trying to, I don't know if they tried to sue Tesla, but maybe like tweeted at Elon Musk that they were pissed because they had lost like 3 cats because Teslas don't make any noise.
Well,
so the cat would be sleeping under the car, but wouldn't hear it, and so they back out of the driveway over the cat.
That's just horrifying.
Well, that's cool. I like it. I think that's great.
Yeah,
no, it's not the cat thing.
It's modern mixed with like old school.
But here's where I think this works, is because a lot of people do like the retro aspect of cars. Like, I love the fact that this looks like the 78s, because we had a truck just like this that was parked in the field for ages. It's still there, I think. The downside to trucks like this is that they are horribly inefficient when it comes to fuel. And with modern regulations, like, getting it to a point where it would be acceptable would be difficult. With this, it wouldn't matter because it's electric.
You could work at the farm. You could drive around your farm all day and then go back and then plug it back in.
Yeah,
you're not. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that seems like that's a good.
Well, it's not like, it doesn't have to be as aerodynamic. Yes, that would help, and it would improve mileage, but it's not a necessity.
It's kind of funny. It seems like electric cars are so new, realistically, in comparison to everything else, but we're already trying to make them retro.
Oh, I'm 100% like, I would buy this truck if I could.
Well, you said 83? Is this, or what years did you say it was?
I think this was 78.
78.
Or modeled off of 78.
That's 40 years ago. That's enough to be retro. You know what I mean? It's like
it's 78.
I heard Pearl Jam on the classic rock station, but I'm like, nah, they they've been around since the 90s, I guess.
I mean, granted,
yeah, exactly. I think everybody. It's just like for some reason I like had a baseball card collection and it's 1987 tops. And for some reason in my head, that's still only 13 years ago. I can't get it for what I don't know why, but like 1987. It's weird how some things just get stuck in your brain and you can't move them forward.
That's okay. Those cards aren't worth anything, Kirk. So
I know nothing because I saw that Netflix documentary. They just burned all the cards. These are worth nothing anymore. They too many. You know why? Because of capitalism and too much greed. Suck it. No, I'm kidding. Okay, just
well,
look how we tied it back in.
yes. Well, you got something, Kirk? What do you got?
I thought my off topic was not having an off topic because nothing was more off topic. I figured having a topic would be on topic, so I don't have anything.
Fair.
That was off topical.
Right.
Well,
Off topical cream doesn't work because you can't put it on it. You got to keep it off you. Topical cream. Anyway.
Well, in fairness, Kirk, I actually don't have anything either. So, John, well done. You are the A+ student of the week.
For
I
once.
have for once.
Normally, I'm the one that doesn't have anything and is like scrolling Reddit real quick beforehand.
Yeah, look, hey, look, I was on a road trip in New Mexico, so you guys, look, I got here, so yeah, off topic, whatever.
Yeah,
What is it? What was the first one we called it? It was what was the first idea from the very first show?
Oh, it was Reddit React.
That died a quick death.
Yeah, it's like 3 episodes in.
We're like this, and and that's what you're gonna get here at Fuzed Relativity. We're gonna throw stuff at you, and then, no, okay, something else. Okay, yeah, that all right.
Well,
that's the sound.
In fairness, I did want to mention here at the end of the show as we wrap up, I have been giving Kirk shirt ideas. I've been making these shirts for Kirk for him to test out at the bar, and I got him a new one today. He's had another one that he has tested out. Guys, we're actually looking at getting into a little bit of merch. So we have some. Well, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, I was gonna say that the Redbubble approach of it.
We're looking at going into Redbubble and selling some of our shirt designs from the podcast. So we will have those probably up. Like I said, Kirk is testing out some of the ideas just to see how they land. And then, hey, we're going to throw them up, and anybody who wants to purchase some, they can go on and purchase. But we'll let you know when that happens. I just got excited about it, and I figured I should let everybody know we got shirts.
Nice, and they're jokes that you've heard on the podcast. So if you're if you're a fan of the podcast, you might recognize one of the shirts. It's stuff we've talked about. There's some space stuff.
Yeah.
There's some it's silly.
And hopefully it's funny on its own right as well.
Exactly. It stands on its own, but yeah, it's either stuff in topics or in Kirk's corner or whatever. So I don't know. Yeah, if you like when he says I'm testing it, basically I'm wearing a shirt. I'm wearing a shirt in a bar, and then basically people who are drinking beer go, "That's funny." So that's how I tell them. I go, 10 people say it, it's got to be good. And we've got a couple high test market shirts. So nobody has punched me yet for the shirt. There's been other reasons, but so the shirts are punch free.
So, well, that's what we got for this week. Hopefully, we can update you very soon on when those shirts will be available. I like all of them, but I might be biased. So, what can we say?
Yeah. The other thing I want to bring up is that we are going to be potentially, this is still kind of on the ropes, but we're going to be talking about board games on Sunday, possibly.
Sunday, we will probably be doing a stream on board games for our new venture that we are also undertaking. So anybody, if you want to come check us out, we're doing a board gaming idea and what would you call it, John?
So the thing with it is that it is going to be, it's going to be kind of like a board game discussion. The thing that I want to, I've got to potentially step away for a second, but the thing that I want to discuss with it is we are going to be making 3D printable board games that can be made with either a 3D printer, with normal objects at home, or, it's going to be a whole lot of stuff that we can potentially do.
We're coming up with board games so that our viewers can create those board games at home for free and enjoy them with their families. We're trying to do something wholesome for the Fuzed Relativity listeners so that they can grab a board game
and not be bored at home and bond with their families.
Yes.
Bing, bong, boom.
Well said, Kirk.
But yes, the whole concept is it's going to be completely free to print, make, play. We just want to... I want to get board games out and playable for free, because the board game market is ridiculously intense. And this is something we'll talk...
And expensive.
Yeah, and this is something like... Chris can attest, I made a 3D printed game, 2 years ago? And it is quite fun.
So basically, if people have a 3D printer, you're going to send them the blueprints.
Yeah, it'll be for free on like Thingiverse, or potentially a website that once I get that squared away. And funny, I keep saying squared away because I'll probably use Squarespace. But
one of the sponsors of our show.
I wish.
Good, right?
Yes, Squarespace, please sponsor us. I'll make a website. I promise.
Come on, Squarespace.
You'll spread the word. You'll help them spread the word about Squarespace. Yeah, good. Yeah, they need it. Thank God John finally reached out.
Yes. All right.
Does that wrap her up? Number 36?
That wraps her up. So everybody, that's where we're at. Come join us Sunday if you want to learn about our board game ventures that we are undertaking.
And no, I was going to say Saturday we're going to be playing more Space Engineers since...
Oh, yes. Tomorrow night we will have more Space Engineers, and John's got a new ship. The Mothership is back in order on an asteroid. So,
yep.
Excellent. I'll pop in after the bar shift, so I'll be with you in spirit for the beginning of the Moo ship, and then I'll come in with jokes and sarcasm for the second half.
Perfect. We like to have you, Kirk. All right. Well, I think that does it, John and Kirk. Do you got anything to wrap it up?
No, I'm good for today. It's been a fun one.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I know. I'm beat, but yeah, just talk to you next week.
All right. Well, then for me, John and Kirk, thank you everybody for listening. Episode 36, 3 dozen. Glad you showed up, and we'll see you next week. Go boldly, friends.